Thank you, sir. Hi, my name is Matt Crawford. I'm
You're able to
really happy to join you today to talk about our cut workflow here with Graphtec and Epson. We'll kind of start with the file as the workflow would. So here you can see I'm in Adobe Illustrator. I have a document that I'm setting up to cut. Now, these concepts could be in really any design application. I'm just using Illustrator as an example. And here you can see that at Onyx, we've actually developed a swatch set for Graphtec. So I can import that swatch set. The swatches are what defines which tool we're going to use on the cutter. So we can actually design with a spot color intended to then be cut with a specific tool. Now with Graphtec, the tools are identified based on conditions. So here you can see that I have a swatch set made up of the conditions that would cut on a Graphtec cutter. So I just draw a path, a shape, trace, what have you, and then I apply this spot color to whichever condition I want the cutter to cut. Now, you can obviously also make your own spot colors based on different tools that you want to use. And the key things here are the naming convention. You want to identify the name that you're going to cut, and it needs to be a spot color. The actual color itself is really irrelevant. It's just for viewing, as that's not going to print, but it's going to cut. Okay? So again, I'm going to draw, trace, create shapes. I'm going to give them a named spot color. In this case with Graphtec, I'm going to use the conditions that associate with the tools that you're going to use on their cutter. Okay? Once I'm there, if I want to do some shape-based nesting, I can go into Onyx TruFit. Onyx TruFit is a new software that we've come out with recently to do shape-based nesting. So here I can open that file that I just brought in from Illustrator. It sees that cut path. I can give it a quantity, say of 15, and then I can create a nest. And you can see it's going to nest based on the cut shape and give us a nice, easy, efficient nest here. I can come back, and I'm actually going to bring in another file as an example of something that maybe didn't have a file associated, a cut path associated in Illustrator. So here, I can come in, I can go into my image tracing, and at this point, I can then select my cut contour, or I'm sorry, my condition. You can see it didn't quite pick up the edge of the bird as well as we'd like, so I can adjust the tolerances so that it'll hit that edge. And apply that. Again, I can give this, say, a quantity of 10 or so, and I will, again, nest those, put them all together on a page. And I have my nest. Once I've done my shape-based nesting, my contour creation, I can set up for double-sided printing. I'm going to export the artwork to Onyx. That comes right into the RIP software. You can see as this file comes in, it's going to preview. We're going to identify the cut paths that are in it. In this case, I've brought it in through a Graphtec cutting quick set. That Graphtec cutting quick set is set up for to create the Graphtec FC9000 registration marks. It's also set to honor those conditions of the cut name convention for our tools. So we're gonna see anything that has these names, we're gonna pick up as a cut file. We're not going to print. And again, we're going to utilize those, of course, in a demo. It's gonna give me a problem.
Well, Matt, I just want to point out that while you're doing this, that the quick sets in Onyx are pretty powerful, and I know we don't have a lot of time today to go deep into that, but since you brought it up, we have some videos coming out on quick sets and how to go about creating them. I know there's content also already inside of our YouTube channel around that. So for people who are interested in knowing more about that, I definitely encourage you to go and check those out. And we'll have some more coming up in the next few days, actually, on the quick set feature, because it really does make your life a lot easier if you're doing stuff over and over again.
You can see here at onyxgfx.com, we've added a quick set library systems for some examples of quick sets. So here you have the Graphtec cutter cutting quick set I was just using, some for tiling and grommets and banners. Here's where you can get those swatch libraries. So those are all available at onyxgfx.com/extras. So again, in those quick sets, I have my Graphtec cutting. That's going to be what identifies which registration marks we're going to use. So as my files nest, I'm going to automatically create the corresponding Graphtec registration marks around the outside of the file. So one of the nice things with using our workflow is you can just keep nesting files and we'll automatically create those registration marks appropriate for the Graphtec cutter. Now, a great thing is that anything you do to the file in the RIP, the cutting will follow. So if I rotate, if I scale, if I do 10 copies, anything you do to the file, again, the cutting will follow. So I'm going to print this now. It's going to print on my S80. And then in our cut server application, so the RIP queue is where we're sending the data to the printer to print. Our cut server application is where we're sending the cut data to cut. So here you can see I have my Graphtec marks. It automatically selects the right tool, the right condition. At this point, all I need to do is hit cut now. So again, to back up, the key to the workflow is making sure that the name of the cut path is selected in the file, that name associates with a quick set in the RIP, that name is associated with the quick set and the cutter, and in cut server, that name is associated with a tool. So here you can see I have condition 1, 2, 3, 4 set up for this cutter, and condition 1 goes to condition 1. So because all of the names are the same, the tool will stay associated to the cut path all the way through the file. And at that point, we can cut now and send the job right off to the cutter. Questions? Bob, how are we going to handle questions?
Yeah, no, I'm looking at this point. I don't see any questions in our question box. I'm looking. So yeah. So and I think most people know, but I think as you were talking about tools and everything, I mean, we're talking about the through cut, the perf cut, the things of that nature as we go through this. So
Correct. So that condition 1 would be on a Graphtec, and I'm sure you'll get into it, a through cut, for example. Condition 2 would be a pounce cut. Condition 3 could be drag knife, etc. So the nice thing is you're designing with that tool in mind in your file so that you don't have to adjust it in the cut software.
exactly. So, well, perfect. So then at this point, I think you've got some good resources here with the Onyx site. As I was mentioning before, IT Supplies, our YouTube channel is a resource. And of course, we have our commercial sales specialists who can help you access any of the technical resources here that you may need between our technicians or whomever. With that and no further questions, I think that David, we can go over to you and talk a little bit about the Epson printer.
Perfect. So,
I have sent you control.
all right. So hopefully everybody can see my screen. And today I wanted to talk, do a quick introduction, talk a little bit about the S40 and S60 print cut bundles that we have with the powerful Onyx software and the Graphtec cutters. What some of the Epson advantages, and then we'll go over some questions and answers at the end, or we could do it completely at the end of the whole webinar as well. So I'm David Lopez. I am the product manager for the S series. So our bundle here for the S40 and S60 is going to have the Onyx software, our S40 or S60, and the Graphtec, now the new Graphtec FC9000-140. So 54-inch cutter that is bundled in there. What we realized is Onyx does a great job of having a strong, powerful software. So we bundled that in, we partnered up with them, and we wanted to get one of the best cutters in the industry. So we partnered up with Graphtec to have this bundle available to all of you. So the number one question I always get, and different trade shows or everybody just says, why don't you have an all-in-one printer? So the number one thing I talk to them about is when Epson is developing printers, we really get feedback from live print shops. We really say, hey, you know what's going to work best? And what we noticed was that when going through an actual production, there was a bottleneck. If you were printing, you can't be cutting. And if you're cutting, you can't be printing. So that was the true bottleneck. You really had to wait for one or the other if you have an all-in-one printer like some of the other competitors. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to eliminate that, but we still wanted to partner up with the best in-class cutters out in the market. So that's why we partnered up with Onyx and Graphtec to have the full solution. So that is our explanation there for why we don't have an all-in-one print cut system, and it's for that reason there. So I'm going to go over, oh, sorry, wrong slide there. It's just going to be the S40 and S60. So the S40, so this is our entry level. It's a CMYK and single print head, and it's capable of producing reliable, high quality output at about 215 square feet an hour. And it is an entry level, but what I always tell people is you want to have something that you're going to grow into. So for around the same price, competitively, you can get an all-in-one printer, but it's probably going to be a lot smaller, a 30-inch. This is actually giving you a 64-inch printer with the same technology that we have in our higher production speed. And so it's something that you're going to really can start off with and grow into for a great value. So you can see some of the speeds there. Banner production at 215 square feet an hour, 170 for quality for vinyl, and 140 for high quality, which you're going to get the best Epson quality type of printing. Now the S60, this is a little bit more for production, and this is definitely going to start doubling it up as an extra print head. It has that same print head technology as the S40. except now at a higher production speed. So typically we talk about that 550 square feet an hour. So these two we chose them because they perfectly pair with the high-end software, with the Onyx software that we bundle in, and the cutters to really match up and give you a full solution. So I want to talk about some of the applications you can do with our print cut bundle. So as most of you know, first thing that comes to mind is a sticker or a decal, but there's a lot of different things you can do. Wall coverings with our print system, you're going to have great consistent color. You're going to have the accurate sizing. One of the big features of our ink is you're going to actually be able to do same-day lamination as some of the competitive different ink systems like latex or other types of ink systems. So you can do same-day lamination, and it's going to have a full room green guard certification. Another popular application is vehicle wraps. So with the S40 and S60, you're going to be able to have those bright, vibrant colors. You're going to have high production speeds with the S60, and even with the S40, if you're comparing it to competitive models out in the market, it's still going to be the fastest in its class. Again, that same-day lamination, and we do offer the 3M MCS warranties. Now, like I was talking about stickers and magnets, with the stickers and magnets, you're gonna have small accurate text, which is important. You're gonna be able to print directly to the magnet because of how we engineered our machines. The back of the magnet's not gonna actually stick to anything, and you can run it. And again, the same-day lamination. Now, again, all of this whole solution, we had all this in mind. So the Graphtec cutter is a very powerful cutter to really help facilitate all of these applications.
Yeah, and I don't think
Some
you
other
can undersell that Green Guard certification, especially the fact that a lot of I mean, depends on your competition, but I just want to say, I mean, full room Green Guard certification means that you can actually be in cafeterias, hospitals, all kinds of areas, and you can print floor graphics, wall graphics, you name it. It gives you such a wide range of coverage. So I just think that's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely is. It really is. Going on to different applications, when you're looking at a printer and whether you're starting or want to add this to your current business, you really want to think, what kind of system or solution can make me the most versatile or can make be more diverse out there to really offer different things. So there's a lot of people that are doing high-end decals that you could see some images there, some really high-end decals for small to medium-sized production runs, or even doing some type of proofing. You can do that. And always keep in mind that when you're running an Epson, you have that unintended roll-to-roll printing where you can just set it to print, walk away, and know that you saw some of the functions in Onyx and how efficient their workflow is, that you can have all the pre-cuts on there, all the conditions set. So all you have to do is print and have it ready to get over to the cutter. So another thing is heat transfer vinyls. So that's something that's able to offer. A lot of people maybe don't have the space or don't want to add one of our F2100s that's a t-shirt printer. You have the option to do that with heat transfer vinyls. We're able to print to this heat transfer vinyl and cut it out and then put it through a heat press and press it onto a cotton t-shirt. So that's also pretty good there. Now, specialty graphics. So if you look at that image, the reason I chose that image because it has a lot of intricate cuts there, and what better to do some really high-end intricate cuts than to do it with the Graphtec cutter. The FC9000 is a real powerful machine, and I'm really excited when the Graphtec talks about it because there's a lot of really cool features that came out with the new FC9000. All right, now I just wanted to talk really quick about the different Epson advantages. So we all know that Epson started off in the photo world. Photography was always, the forefront focus of our printers. So we got that printed technology and we put it across the whole board of all of our printers. So one of the things is we have the patent for the Precision Core TFP printhead, which is a heat-free variable dot print head. Now, it's going to give you consistent color. It's going to have really high accuracy, and apart from actually it being really high accuracy, it's going to give you a better ink efficiency because it's able to place those drops so precise. You're going to have to use less ink to get the right desired colors. Again, we talked about it a little bit, Bob Miller and I, about the full room Green Guard Gold certification. So it is equal to latex inks. We also have some newly developed technology for our S80 that we're not really focusing on right now, but I will talk a little bit about it. We have a red and orange ink on there that really hits 98.2% of the Pantone coverage. So, and then also with us making the print heads and making our own ink, we make sure that we have superior print head reliability. So you don't have to worry about ink clogging the print heads and things like that. We did some independent testing with Avery, and we found out that we're actually able to laminate after 6 hours of printing, which makes us about 75% faster than the other solvent competitors, which is huge. This whole thing about not being able to laminate the same day or having to wait to outgas 24 hours is now a thing of the past with our new engineered ink. So that's definitely a huge advantage. Another thing is our automated technologies. So what we want to do is we want to make sure people are printing or out there selling rather than having to worry about cleaning a machine every day. So what we've done is we have the fabric wiper that wipes the bottom of the print heads, and it really keeps itself maintained. You do have to do maybe a weekly or depending on how much you print, but it does help keep the print head clean and refreshed. And then also we have some filters that go on the top that help prevent any kind of dust or any kind of particles in the air to land on your material. So you have a almost perfect print every time. Again, with the S80 and the red and orange, we have about 98.2% of the Pantone coverage. Also, one thing that's a little unique to us, everybody loves points, whether it's flyer miles or hotel points. Everybody wants to earn points to get a discount. So what we did was we have our Epson S Series rewards program. And for every ink cartridge you get or every media you buy that's Epson, you can get 50 points, and you can actually put that towards a coverage, either a discount on extended warranties, or if you use enough ink, you can actually cover your full warranty there. Now, I went through this kind of quick, and I hope you were able to get some kind of sort of information because we have Dominic coming up talking on the Graphtec. But the whole idea of this is to really show off how powerful the workflow program we have with Onyx, the powerful printers we have with the great quality and printhead technology that we have, and then the final solution with the Graphtec cutters. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, well, I just want to interject at this point because yes, I think you covered all the bases here, but I will just mention because for people who are coming in and may not be as familiar with IT supplies, I mean, we do have all of the products that relate to the different areas and applications that we talked about, and I just want to mention, like between the Epson medias. We were talking the other day about Jessup with floor graphics. A lot of the stores like Targets and Walmarts and stuff, anywhere where you see floor graphics, we carry those products. There's also Phototex, Avery, General Formulations, and then one of the other ones that we talked about the other day for packaging and prototyping is JetComp. So just wanted to quickly give a quick highlight of some of the things and some of the different applications and manufacturers that we can help you with. And then if you do have questions, once again, you can give your commercial sales rep here at IT Supplies a call, and we can help you out with those. So, and Dominic, I think at this point we're ready to switch over. We can go over to Dominic and learn a little bit more about the brand new, right, Dominic? Pretty much brand new
Pretty much.
Graphtec cutter that you guys
We
have.
debuted it at the Print United show back in October, so it's still pretty new.
Yep.
All right, let me get started here. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm glad to be here. Hopefully, you guys are getting a little bit of everything to see how the whole print and cut workflow works. I wanted to be able to show you some of the things that the Graphtec does. We're happy to partner up with Onyx and Epson for a complete workflow. One of the things that I think that people are mentioning is, compared to the competitors, this is a great professional system, all three components combined, versus some other ones that just say that they're an entry level. And so this is a true professional system that you can't go wrong with. So I want to show you some of the features. Now, David did speak about materials. Some of the things that I wanted to let you know is that the majority of all those materials that David spoke with, and then some, our cutter will cut, whereas a lot of the competition's not able to cut, whether it's the speed or the downforce, not able to cut certain materials. And I'll show you some of that through these slides that I'm going to show you here. So here we have the print and cut bundle, as David pointed out, with Onyx too, is you have your print and cut bundle. The whole process, it's to make it very easy to use. And I think between the three components, we've made that very easy to help you guys out. So we've also put in some really nice enhanced functions to the cutter that will save you some time and definitely money. And that's what everybody's here for, is to save some time and money, so we all can get past all this and go out and enjoy the outdoors. High quality and performance, that's what Graphtec has stood for over 60 years. Where we consider ourselves the best cutter company out there. That's all we do is cutters. We don't have other products. We don't have printers and stuff. So that's why we paired up with Epson, because we wanted to have the best. A couple of the quick functions. I believe that Matt touched on this too, about the cutting conditions. We have 8 different cutting conditions. And what I mean by cutting condition, all it is a preset that you can save all of the information that you have for a specific media type with a specific blade downforce. So you don't have to constantly remember, all right, I used floor graphics on this one. What did I cut it with? And then I went to regular print and cut vinyl on this one. So those 8 cutting conditions that Matt was touching on in Onyx, you're able to specify which cutting condition you want to use to cut what media. Even if you unplug the cutter or turn it off, it still remembers those cutting conditions as you input them in there. So we're talking about acceleration. We're also talking about what we call a tool position, and I'll show you that in a video. What's one of the greatest features about Graphtec is when we do a contour cut and then we go to do a perf cut, and you'll see what the perf cut's all about here in a minute, we can put that tool over a deep channel so that when that blade's going up and down, sort of like a sewing machine would, the blade is not touching anything. It's sitting over that channel. You're not wrecking your blade, and you're not wrecking your cutting strip or your Teflon mat. So we're just showing the cutting pattern here as far as how it cuts up and down. Now, what I wanted to show you was the tool position, as I just got done showing you, is this particular tool 3. That's where you have it, where you can put that out. So you can see it's on the Teflon strip. All right, so that's the difference between the two. You don't have to, you just manually move it once, and by moving it in there, and then you can see what your perf cut looks like. Tangential emulation. Well, a lot of people ask about that. Basically, that's to cut really tiny stuff or to cut really thick, heavy stuff. Overcut. You have the ability to do an overcut feature should you need it. You want to cut a little past, that's fine. And also, another neat thing about the Graphtec, if you want to put your pinch rollers down and you want to cut beyond where the pinch rollers are because you need that just a little extra, half an inch or so, an inch, you're able to do that with the Graphtec. Segmented registration marks. Onyx does this, and we do this with our different softwares. You're able to put segmented registration marks down. Why would that be necessary? Well, if you're going to be doing a long cut, you can do it for two reasons. One, if there's any skew in the media for whatever reason, it will re-register that and know where that skew is. But what's more important is, if you notice when you're doing, say, a 20-foot job, you don't want that media to roll out 20 feet, come back 20 feet, roll back out 20 feet to be able to cut. What's nice about the segmented marks is, if you notice in the first segment, I can get it to cut just in that first segment, then go to the second segment, then the third segment. This way you're not having that media roll back and forth and possibly either jamming into the machine or just the fact that maybe it will track off. It's easier to do this. Again, about the tracking, we guarantee 50 feet, and I'll say that again, we guarantee 50 feet of tracking on regular 2-3 mil vinyl. That's how confident we are with this particular product. One of the new features about the FC9000 series is it comes with a flange kit, and it also comes with a loop. The flange kit is to put on the end of your media, will make that media turn that much easier, so you're not pulling against it, and it'll actually track even further. As far as the loop is concerned, and I will show you a slide on that, that's so that you can adjust your blade properly and also see whether your blade is chipped or if it's rounded or if it's time for a new blade. The other thing that's really nice about the 9000 series is the fact that we come with a standard 3-year warranty. There's not a lot of products out in the market, whether it's TVs, whether it's laminators, other pieces of equipment within our industry that have a 3-year warranty. So we have a 3-year warranty, and we give you the ability to extend that if you want to. So you have peace of mind that we cover parts and labor for 3 years. As far as the performance, we have 600 grams of downforce with up to 58.5 inches a second. Well, and we can cut up to almost 59 mil thick. Why is the speed important? I think, as Matt and especially David pointed out, that an all-in-one device, while it's printing, it can't cut, and when it's cutting, it can't print. On most of these printers, I literally could take the print that you're doing, and I can cut 4 times the number of jobs that you can cut on a print and cut device, an all-in-one. So I'll say that again. For the amount of time, most print and cut all-in-one devices cut somewhere around 11 to 15 inches per second. Our cutter cuts up to 58 inches a second. So I can do 4 times the number of jobs on the prints on the cut side than you can do with a print cut device. So now what I want to do is actually show you just a quick video, and I'll full screen this here. And I'm going to talk about this, is that we have a 3-push roller system. Here's your flange kit that I was just describing a little bit ago. And here, and I want to stop this if I can, I wanted to show you that we have an optional take-up reel. This is a real neat feature for this, that you can purchase this take-up reel. It goes forward and backwards, unlike most take-up reels. And this way you can do almost a full roll of unattended print and cut. So as you take your printed graphics out of the Epson, you can put it into the Graphtec, hook it up to the take-up reel, and pretty much go ahead and have it cut that whole roll, because we're going to be talking about barcode here in just a second. All right, so there's the take-up reel going forwards and backwards. Some of the cutting features, I think I already talked about the front and back position, which I think this is what's going to show, but it also allows you to print or cut on just regular everyday vinyl. It's just showing here that we're cutting window tint, and now we're cutting sandblast rubber. We just wanted to show you that you can cut multiple materials. We're one of the only companies that can cut diamond grade, high intensity reflective like that. And there's your perf cut. That's how easy it is to take out your vinyl printed Graphtecs. Again, this is the dual channel where you can do your perf cuts, and the cutter is actually doing the perf cutting right now. So you can see the speed on this, how fast it is. Here's the optional, or here's the 8 different cutting conditions. You notice in there it says number 1 through 8, so you can actually put that many different cutting conditions on there. So there's your 8 total recallable cutting conditions. All you have to do is change it very easily by pushing a button, and it'll remember, and you can see the blade, the force, and the speed. The tangential emulation, I'm going to show you that here in a minute of some things that we did, like this particular one of the graphics that I'll cut. It also, the Graphtec has a built-in cross cutter or a sheet cutter. So this way it'll automatically cut it off for you. You can move on to the next job. And I'm going to let it get out of this one and show you something a little different. I was just talking about that, the real tiny stuff that we cut. This is a business card. Let me make this full screen. That is a business card. That's an actual business card of a gentleman that does women's nail art. He actually airbrushes or puts vinyl in there. So if you can picture the size of this business card and how small those graphics are, that's how the Graphtec, how it cuts small to large and everything in between, how well that works out. The other thing I wanted to show you was a video, a quick video of our 9000 and also all of the tutorials. So if you get stuck anywhere along the line, we have plenty of tutorials in here, exactly how to put the blade together. We literally have it where how to take it out of the box and put the whole thing together. So you can see here's the assembly, all of that kind of stuff. So we have all those business cards, or the business card slides that I showed you. And I think lastly, the other thing that I wanted to show you is we have that loop. This loop that you saw before, you can actually put the blade holder into the loop and show how far out your blade is. So for example, here, each line is 0.1 millimeter, which is basically 1 mil. If you're using a 2 mil vinyl, you can actually look into that loop, put the blade holder in there, and it'll actually specify that you have the correct length out. Now, as far as the software, the great thing about the Onyx software and also our software is barcode reading. This is one of the best things you can do. I'm going to show you this for here, that you can actually run the thing from a flash drive if you want. All right, so we run it from a flash drive. We hit a barcode button, and this can be done with Onyx too. And the neat thing about this is by either using it on a thumb drive or from your computer, it will automatically detect what file it is that you want to cut. So as you're going to see here in a video, you hit the barcode button. It's going to sense the barcode right here with that little black strip. There's your barcode on the left. It will automatically go and retrieve the job from the thumb drive and or from your computer. And now it'll go ahead and do all your contour cut and your perf cut, and it'll continuously go to the next barcode job and the next job and the next job and so forth and so on. This way, you're able to cut that full roll or as many jobs as you want, either unintended or one at a time, however you want. You can see now it's going to the next barcode and it's going to continue on with that. So this is the great thing about the barcode. Thumb drive, USB connection, Ethernet connection, any of those connections you can run from the Graphtec and from Onyx. The last thing I want to leave you with is software. You can take this and have your Illustrator, CorelDRAW, some of the other programs out there and run the Graphtec with it. You can design everything, send it over to the Onyx RIP if you prefer, do it from there. And if you prefer to cut through Illustrator or CorelDRAW, you're welcome to do that, or you can run it through Onyx's cut server. At this point, I think we covered most of the things, Bob. Is there any questions?
Well, so you said tracking over length, and you said 50 feet is that you're good up to 50 feet and potentially longer? Is that what I heard?
Correct. Correct. Now, it's not going to be 50 feet if you're cutting 58 mil sandblast rubber. It's not going to do that. But most all of your vinyls, sign vinyls, yeah, 50 feet. And with the flange kit in there, it'll probably go past that.
Yeah, because that I know in the past, or with competitive models and stuff, I mean, that's something people are usually concerned about is what they can run. So that's huge. And then now, what's the smallest width that you can go with on here?
Great question, Bob. So with the cutter, with the one that comes with the Epson bundle, you can cut anything from 2 inches wide, 2-inch scraps, up to the full 54 inches and everything in between. So if you have 30-inch media, 24-inch media, 48-inch media, any size in between 2 inches and 54, you can cut.
Fantastic. And then I saw you had diamond grade on there. That's pretty unique stuff, but the fact that you can cut it, that's pretty impressive.
Here's a little file. You can see the little brochure that we have of it cutting diamond grade, high intensity reflective. And they said, we're one of the only cutter companies out there that can actually cut that stuff. It's very difficult stuff to cut, whether it's printed or not printed.
Well, one of the things that ties this all together is, you know, you mentioned the barcodes, for example, and stuff, and how having these separate from an all-in-one unit, you know, it speeds it up 4 times as fast, you know, in production. And having that barcode, from my experience, really does help, because sometimes you may be doing multiple jobs, printing multiple jobs, and a customer may suddenly have a reprint or something that jumps ahead and stuff. So this is a great way of tracking throughout your workflow as you're going from one step to another and keeping your production.
As Matt pointed out from Onyx, they have the quick sets already built into Onyx. So we've made the workflow very easy. You don't have to reset, you know, reinvent the wheel, as per se. Because Onyx already has done a lot of this work for you. Once you set it up once, you can make this workflow very easy.
Excellent. Well, so we have a few questions that I've collected, but before we get to those, I just want to thank you guys for the presentations here. This has been excellent. I think a lot of people are getting some valuable information here. And as a few more questions come in, I'm just going to take a very quick moment here to tell you a little bit about IT Supplies. As you may know, IT Supplies is here to support your needs for everything related to the perfect print. Our knowledgeable sales staff, tech support specialists, we're all here to help you with supplies and support to keep your business running. In addition, we're posting daily videos on our YouTube channel to help with your commonly asked questions. This webinar will also be on our YouTube channel in just a day or so. In addition, we have links to all of the videos that were referenced here for Onyx and Graphtec. So you can just go to the IT Supplies Inc. YouTube channel, and you'll have links to get you to all the videos and content that you need. It's all categorized by Graphtec, Onyx, Epson, etc. Please contact your sales representative for any assistance you may need. If you don't know how to contact your commercial sales specialist, you can call 1-800-771-9665 and just ask for a commercial sales specialist. Everyone here is here to help your business succeed. So at this point, we do have a few questions, one of which is, how long should you let the media dry from the S80 before cutting it on a Graphtec?
I'll go ahead and answer that one. So typically, if you have all your heater settings correct and your your plat, and then the post heaters, it should come out pretty much dry once it hits the bottom, or you have it rolled up. The ink is formulated for that to go ahead and dry pretty quickly and give the best results. So by the time it's in the take-up system, it should be good to go. Please be using the right profiles. I know if you're using Onyx, Onyx has a lot of great profiles that has all of these pre-settings already done.
Exactly. And I think you're absolutely right, because I mean, if all of your settings are correct, and again, this is where we have technicians, and Epson has great technicians to help you, but if all of your settings are correct for the specific media that you're using, you're absolutely right. There should be no delay before you go and cut. If you do have questions about profiling, that's actually one of my areas of expertise, and we have some very knowledgeable people here who can help you tweak your system and create profiles for the various media that you'd be using. So keep that in mind and reach out to IT Supplies if you have any questions in that area. And then another question we have here is when a customer purchases the Epson print and cut bundle, if there are any problems, say with the Graphtec, who do they go and call for support?
I could probably take that. You will be able to reach our technical support department. We have an email and or a phone message. The phones are going to the individual techs during this COVID pandemic, and so it'll go out to the individual techs, or you can email our technical support department and it'll go to all the techs. So we would be handling the tech support.
Fantastic. So basically, as we tie this whole package together, you know, Matt, I know Onyx has a fantastic support team. Of course, we always recommend that if you're having some issues, you can feel free, as customers should always feel free to give us a call. It could be something very easy, very simple. Onyx has a really great support system. I know Epson as well and Graphtec. So it really seems like a good package. But when you combine that with the knowledge we have in-house, I think that you shouldn't have any trouble whatsoever. Everyone's
Bob,
here
I'd like
to support
to,
you. Yeah.
I'd like to just point out one thing as far as the technical support. As I showed before, we've gone to great lengths to put on just about everything anybody could possibly want to know about the plotter, with the exception of a physical breakage. Then most everything that a customer could possibly want to ask technical support is on those individual tutorials. Like I said, they're no more than about 4 minutes for each one. You can go to a specific chapter that you want to. So in the meantime, if that's why you're trying to get a hold of technical support, they still will help you. But you can obviously, if it's after hours, you can look very quickly on our website, and we've done an excellent job as far as those videos are to help all your customers.
Fantastic. And, you know, I mean, one last thing that I will say is it's really about getting off to the right start. So, and I can't talk up our technicians enough, but I mean, we do come on site. If you require, we also have the ability to do virtual installations, but either way, we want to make sure that when we leave your facility, virtually or on location, that we make sure you're up and running. And so we're going to look at the connectivity. We're going to make sure that everything works from beginning to end. So just keep that in mind as you look at these particular solutions. So I think that covers the questions. Does anyone have anything else to add here? Matt?
I just wanted
Dominic.
to say thank you, Bob, for hosting this, and for David and Matt's help. I hope everybody else had a good time today, learned a few things, and I appreciate everybody's time, and I hope everybody stays safe.
Thanks, Bob.
Yep.
Thank you.
And yeah, no problem. We're glad that you guys were able to work with us today. We certainly appreciate this. Just a reminder that this is just one of many in our educational series. We have our May series going on right now. This is the Roll to Roll series. We also have a textile series that's starting up on May 26th, beginning with dye sublimation. And then we're going to have more series in June. So if you have a moment, stop by our website. You can click on e-learning and you'll see the upcoming webinars. You can also subscribe to our LinkedIn channel because we're always posting there. And again, our YouTube channel is youtube.com/IT-supplies Inc. INC. And we will connect you to all of the resources that are available out there. So thanks again to everybody, David, Matt, Dominic, for helping out today. And thanks to all of our attendees. And we hope you take care and stay safe and have a great day.
Thanks so much for watching this. If you would like to see more of these videos, please go to our YouTube channel.